Hello and welcome to the podcast from Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita Guarin, and today's episode 250th. Wow. Cannot believe it's already 250 episodes. If you are a returning listener, thank you so much for being here. Click like the video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. If you're new, welcome. I'm so happy you discovered me. I'm talking a lot about stress management and tips and tricks. And today, we're still in the new year and still New Year's resolutions can get very, stressed out and burnt out, especially when we are starting something new and it looks like we're putting that on top of something else that you're already doing. Now, if that has to do with implementing new habit, that's a great way to do it. You do something old and then you add something new. But the news is that's not enough time. When I start working with my new clients, it could be someone who owns a business and they're responsible for not just their own family, but the rest of the families that they employ. It can get very stressful because you don't have enough time for that. And if you have new goals, then you have to do even more. So it gets even more stressed out and burnout. So today I want to talk about something that I've seen a lot of people do. And even if, let's say, you're an employee who works for somebody else and, you have to do all of those things, and you think, you know what, I'm going to save time by multitasking. Yeah. Multitasking, you see such a thing that looks like maybe it's saving you time, but really doesn't. Because really, a mind cannot just go one and the other at the same time. You cannot do that. It shifts very quick between those two, like the things, okay, this and that, and this and that, and this and that. So it looks like you're really multitasking, right? Because like, oh, you're doing all at the same time. I've seen all the time people, let's say, writing reports and listening to a podcast. Like, come on, really? I don't think your brain working so well, and I don't think that it gives you opportunity to focus on things, and I don't think you'll be productive. At the end of the day, you'll probably be more stressed out and burn out because your brain was working double. That's what happens. And especially in the workplace, when you have to do so many things at the same time, especially if you're working on multiple projects, and it's like, well, there's no other choice, just doing it that way. So here are three things that you can do to help you with achieving more, being more productive, and less stressed out and burnout by the end of the day. Number one, do only one task at a time. Only one. Decide that you're going to do one, even feels like you really need to do two. And it's not only specifically for, let's say, work related, like, okay, I'm going to listen to a meeting and I'm going to fold the envelope. I don't know, something like that. But where you can say, well, I totally can do that. Uh, but also, it has to do with your multitasking that requires your focus and your energy. So let's say you may be working on something and you think you're focusing really on one thing, but you have a podcast going on, you have a music with no what somebody's actually singing. So you constantly will be listening to that. This means you will be putting your focus somewhere else. So that's also multitasking. So multitasking not only working on two things, but could be working and doing something in addition to. So your mind cannot really do that. You need to do only one thing at a time. And I know, you could be thinking, well, wait a minute, but I can walk and talk and listen to music and chew my gum at the same time. I know. Yes, that's true. There's a lot of things in our body that, it can do on its own. We don't need to really pay attention what we're really doing. But if it requires your focus, if it requires to produce something, it's better just focus on one thing. Now, you may be probably thinking, how am I going to achieve all this thing that I need to do? So here's the number two comes in. You need to set time for how long you're going to do that specific task. Maybe you can say, I will do it for 15 minutes. Maybe I'll do it for 1 hour. Of course, I already talked in the episode before that it's very important for you to start with the goals that are very important and actually going to move you forward. That's very important. So when you identify those, you're focusing only one thing and then you put it specific time. You're like, I'm going to do this at noon and I'm going to do it for 30 minutes and you're done. So now you're thinking, yeah, but other people come and distract me or whatever. Yes, I get it. Go listen to episode before when I was talking about distractions. Today is multitasking. So we're gonna stop multitasking. We're going to focus only on that specific thing. Also, we will be putting in different time slots, right? And what is the third thing? The third thing that you need to do is you need to take breaks between those big chunks of whatever you were doing and taking mental break. Maybe you were sitting all the time, so get up, walk around. If you are on your feet, come sit down. Breathe, close your eyes, just take even 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes is even better. Uh, but take those breaks. Now, if you immediately thought to yourself, well, I don't think I can do it, everybody will be like saying, why are you closing your eyes? You're lazy and whatever. That's definitely talking your patterns that you learned in your childhood where you constantly need to be on a go-go. Because if you will not be going on a go-go, that's mean you are useless and hence we will exclude you and hence you die. I know this is really purely coming from survival brain. Yes, that's true. And if you afraid that other people will look at you and say, oh, you're so lazy, you're not working all the time, or you're not multitasking, this means also you really need to revisit your value and, knowing that you are enough and you're already doing enough. And look, if you're working in a company and you say, I don't think I can take breaks anytime I want to or whatever, you are giving the time, the energy. Yes, you're getting paid for that. But also, most of the time, I would say all the time, there is an emphasis on the quality. Okay. So imagine you will be multitasking, you're writing all this report while listening to podcasts or folding, I don't know what, and then you make mistakes. Then you have to come back on the weekend and redo them again. And I know this because I used to be that person. I used to multitask because I was afraid to say no. Yes, that is another thing that we already talked about in the previous episode. So revisiting those. So what do you think? You think you can do that? If you think that there is some other great tip that has to do with multitasking, I would love if you will share it in the comments below. And if you need more help getting more clear about your time management, great. If you think that you need more help of allocating that time and for your new year's resolutions, join my online membership. Of course, all of this in the description below. And the first month, we talk specifically about time management because we need to find more time to do those new things, right? Exactly. And if you need personal help, book a call with me on beamazingyou.com. Also, if you're a business owner or you belong to an organization that probably can use a stress management expert coming and talking to the organization, I am open for speaking. Of course, all of this again on my website, beamazingyou.com. So thank you so much for listening in. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you liked it and subscribe if you have not. And tomorrow, yes, we'll be continuing talking about time management, stress, and burnout.